Hey friends, the S24 Plus is the sandwich child in Samsung's new flagship lineup. By the way, I'm also a sandwich child, and a lot is said about these middle children that they are a bit crazy in a positive and loving sense. That's what I hope, at least. But the question with the S24 Plus is not whether it is crazy, but what exactly sets it apart from the others. Is it just a larger S24 or actually the better S24 Ultra? In any case, the S24 Plus is one thing, namely built to an extremely high quality. Look and feel is premium and nothing else. Someone recently wrote to me in the comments under one of my videos that Samsung devices are all plastic toys and can't hold a candle to the premium design of the iPhone. I'll put it this way: the year 2012 called and would like its opinion back. But back to the present, the S24 Plus has a modern and edgy look with its matte glass back and the lightly brushed and for the first time completely flat-edged aluminum frame. The 6-inch 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display made of Gorilla Glass Victus Plus is, as you would expect from Samsung, top-notch, and at 530 ppi it has an even higher resolution than the S24 Ultra, which has a pixel density of 505 ppi. Would you notice it when you look at it? Of course not. Both displays are nice and sharp, and both are really bright with a peak brightness of an incredible 2600 nits. This means that the display can be read even better in direct sunlight. The display edges of the S24 Plus are also nice and thin, and above all, it's just fun to watch videos on them. When you hold the S24 Plus and the Ultra in your hands, there is a difference that cannot be ignored, and that's the weight. Although both have almost the same size displays, the S24 Ultra weighs 232 grams, just 36 grams more than the S24 Plus. And you notice this clearly in everyday life as soon as you hold the devices in your hand for more than a minute. Overall, the S24 Plus, with its rounded corners and lower weight, is much more pleasant to hold, and since both devices have an almost identical beautiful display, you have to think carefully about which device you choose. I think everyone groaned when Samsung announced in mid-January that only the S24 Ultra was equipped with the new and powerful Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, and the S24 and S24 Plus were equipped with Samsung's own Exynos 2400 everywhere except in the USA. Because the experiences with Samsung's own processor, such as that used in the S22 Ultra, are anything but positive when it comes to performance. Samsung has positioned itself very confidently here and said, guys, no problem at all, the new Exynos is comparable to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. I've been using the S24 Plus as my daily driver for almost a week now, and I can only confirm the statement. I never experienced any stuttering or long waiting times. What was surprising to me was that even all of the new Galaxy AI features, such as the new AI-supported image editing, interpreter and circle to search, to name just a few, went quickly and smoothly. Here too, I can't notice any difference compared to the S24 Ultra. Even on paper, the Exynos of the S24 Plus performs really well, with a 4% performance difference compared to the S24 Ultra. What I also think is really good is that both devices come with 12 GB of RAM regardless of the memory size you buy, which also contributes to the overall performance. Maybe I get the S24 Plus to stutter when I play graphically demanding games or render some stuff. But in everyday life, I can't tell any differences in performance when surfing the web, using social media or taking photos. Where you notice a minimal difference is the battery life, which is partly related to the processor and its energy efficiency. On average, I always have a display on time of 3.5 to 4 hours. With the 5000 mAh battery of the S24 Ultra, I get a runtime of 2.5 to 3 days. With the not much smaller 4900 mAh of the S24 Plus, I can get at least 2 days. And not everyone has a display on time of 4 hours per day like me. So you can get easily 2.5 to 3 days of battery life with the S24 Plus. The S24 Plus also does a very good job with the camera, even if there are noticeable differences to the S24 Ultra. The S24 Plus has a 50 megapixel main camera, while the S24 Ultra has a whopping 200 megapixels. But the question, as always, is how what is written on paper works out in reality. And as always with me, you can decide for yourself. In my opinion, when deciding between the S24 Plus and the S24 Ultra, you have to ask yourself one central question. Do I actually use the additional performance that the S24 Ultra theoretically offers in my everyday life? Or am I paying for things that I don't need with the extra 300 euros that the S24 Ultra costs? From my point of view, this concerns the slightly better processor, the camera in a few moments, a slightly better battery and the S Pen. Don't get me wrong, I love the S Pen, but I don't use it incredibly often. In all other areas, such as the display and its brightness, I deliberately call it everyday performance, Galaxy AI functions, 12 GB of RAM, stereo speakers, 45 watt fast charging and 50 watt wireless charging, the devices are almost identical. Unlocking via fingerprint and facial recognition works well for both. Both have Samsung DeX on board and both are protected against water and dust according to IP68. And the S24 Plus clearly has one advantage over the S24 Ultra: a significantly lower weight and a more pleasant form factor. From my point of view, there are only a few small differences between the Plus and the Ultra that I personally hardly notice in everyday life. In any case, my answer to the question of whether the S24 Plus is the better S24 Ultra is yes, for all average consumers who value the handiness of their smartphone and don't need an S Pen. I hope you enjoyed my comparison between the S24 Plus and the S24 Ultra. If so, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Friends, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye and see you next time. Mwah. I've been using the S24 Plus as my daily driver for almost a week now, and I can just confirm this statement.